Well, don't run Facebook ads, actually, is probably my advice to you. Start with the easier things. Sell them the chat widget, sell them the GMB chat, sell them the reputation management. These are the much easier sales. And as you go forward, you're going to see way more reviews. And in fact, here's a trick. I can tell you if you use the affiliate management software to create a recommendation engine for your clients, you'd never have to buy an ad for almost any business in the United States, period.
In this video, I speak to the owner of GoHighLevel. His name is Sean Clark. We invite him on for a webinar. Guys, this is a multi-millionaire with an amazing software that is only going to grow larger and larger over the years. It's crazy how we were able to secure this, and it's awesome to be able to talk to him. And watch through the whole video. Again, you have access to a multi-millionaire telling you exactly what you should be doing right now to build, run, and scale your agency or your software as a service, depending on whatever you're doing. Yeah, he talks about the future improvements to HighLevel as well as just what he would do if he was just starting out. So yeah, make sure to watch through the entire thing. Don't click off. I guarantee you will leave having learned a lot. So I will see you guys in there. First thing, I guess I'll just start with a smaller question. I saw the prospecting tab that's new and stuff. I don't really know how to use it. I haven't really heard much about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
So there's a really killer guide. The idea there, right, is that it's designed to help sell SaaS.
Okay.
And and it's not radically different than many other prospecting tools you've probably seen or have been out for a long time. We just wanted to put it in app and make it simple and easy, and just yet another tool you don't have to go get yourself. But the idea is that, sometimes when you're making a sales pitch, you kind of want like something like a foot in the door, or something that's like tangible that you can give people. And so that's the idea behind that tool, is just to be able to do a couple of things. Actually, we just modified it. Hold on, let me show you. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So if you go in here and you say dentist, well, you actually have to say dentist near me. I think you just type dentist. But first and foremost, the first thing you want to do is we did this so you could very quickly see, and there's one other item that's going to get added here, which is GMB claim yes or no. Just if I'm like, I'm going to go make a sale today, I want to have, first thing I want to do is get a bird's eye view of what I'm looking at. So let's just say I want to sell a dentist near me. So I would look down here and I'd be like, okay, who's a good target, right? So, Drew Family Dentistry, this dude's got 454 ratings, 4.9 stars, and a WordPress website. And let's just assume he's claimed his GMB, right? He might not be the best place to start because he's already looking pretty good. But if I go and look at this Masters of Dentistry, oops, so let's just throw that in there. So, their GMB sucks, right? They've got 3 Google reviews. Yeah. They've got no pictures. They've got nothing. And if you look, they've got a terrible website. So the first thing I would do is be like, okay, going back to this prospecting tool, right? They're probably a good person. Oops. They're probably a good person to target for something like a reputation management thing, where it's like, hey, do you want to get a heck of a lot more patients? Well, if you do, we need to get you up more like Mr. Drew here. So let me solve that for you. And so from there, what you can do, right, is you can go in and you can say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this prospect. And when you save it, it's going to go ahead and start to generate a audit report for you. And so the audit report will go really in depth on that business. And I can't remember, it takes 5 or 10 minutes or something. And then once you've got it, oops, actually, maybe I have it. Still have it. But then once you have it, Mr. All right, then you can jump in like this, and let's just assume it's the same thing. You can actually take this into them. You can even share it out if you want to as an independent link. So now you have something to actually talk about when you walk in the door, right? So that's the idea behind the audit report.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool. Definitely start using that. But yeah, the next thing was going to be I don't really know much about how to use AI within the software, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. But yeah, maybe you could explain that in a bit more detail.
Yeah, so AI is just a tool like any other, so don't get too excited in the sense that it's not the way I think about it is like handsaw versus chainsaw, right? So same thing you were doing before, but now just radically faster, hopefully. So 2 easy places you can do this today is any place where you generate copy, you should be able to go in and actually generate copy using AI. So let me see a super easy version of this. So we got marketing. So let's see. Oh yeah, social planner. So first things first, I don't really want to do this myself. I'm not really sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just use AI to generate my copy.
Guys, by the way, if you have any questions, you could type them in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say start typing them in. Okay, that's done. Okay, cool.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Scott,
And if you are on here and not talking, you should mute yourself. Otherwise, you might say something you otherwise didn't mean to say. So this is the conversation AI stuff. We'll check that out in a minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this, all of you will figure this out in your account. But okay, so first things first. So when you do like a new post, you can do, oh, I think I screwed it. I know what happened is I messed this up because I didn't do new AI post. So you can tell it to basically say, hey, I want a new post. And you can do this in several other sections, but you see like, hey, this is like the product title. This is like the title of the post. These are the keywords. This is the tone. And then you hit go and boom, you've got your social media posts. And then you can do variations, stuff like that. And then now you drop it in and then you can actually go from there. I was looking for this little content AI button. That's my problem. And then we do the same thing on the image AI side. So let me see if I can figure that out.
So just for example, like if you were preparing like an email to send to somebody as like an automation, would you be able to have AI write that for you? And that's okay. So stuff like
yes, that is the idea. I know I'm doing such a crappy job of it right now, but then again,
no, it's okay.
I'm not known for my marketing. It'll be here. It'll be a little guy, just like you guys actually probably have like right there. You can see content AI.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you want to look at is for the images. So the images also do the same trick. And the way that works is incredibly similar. So I like to hide the UI because it's not very useful. Perfect. Here we go. So same construct here. When you're doing the images, you can do create image using AI. And then you can describe the image you're looking for. You can just choose the style that you're looking for. And then boom, you get out actual images. And then these images pop into both the content AI section as well as the media library. So you can subsequently use them at any other time in the future.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah. And so we'll have that. And then the other thing that's going to come out that I already showed off here, not this one, I'm almost certain I can show you. It's almost like I need to refresh my screen. Hold on. The problem is if you don't refresh often enough, you're not pulling down the latest code. And so then invariably things change. Here we go, conversation AI. So this one's a little harder to like show off, but like think about it like this. So this is a fully trainable bot. It sits at the sub account level. The idea here is that you get to choose which channels it operates in. So the idea is instead of having to like run around and create workflows and this and that, it just sort of sits in the background. And first and foremost, the thing about AI, right, that we've all seen is like, it's cool in the sense that you're having a conversation, but you really want to get it to an objective, right? And so for us, the first thing we chose is the objective of like, let's say like I want to do is appointment booking, because the vast majority of small businesses, the way they transact or the way you as a marketer will show value is basically getting them booked appointments, right? And so first you pick a calendar, then you can choose which questions you want them to which you want to have asked in order to qualify the lead. Because maybe before you ask them to book an appointment, you also want to know something like what's your credit score, how big is your house, or this or that, right? Whatever is specific to the businesses you're serving. And then from there, you can the bot will try to book an appointment. Now, of course, along that run, people might ask questions, right, that by default ChatGPT can't answer. And so you have this ability to come in and use this Q&A format where it's like, how much do you charge for X, right? And then, we typically charge between, $100 and $500, or I guess you could just say 500. So then what you're doing, you're telling the bot very specific training information.
Yeah.
And so this will, this whole thing will come out this quarter. And then the very next piece of this is we'll also add the ability to train it via URL. So you could give it your client's website, and it'll go out and scan that website automatically and use that all for the training material in addition to the Q&A.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot.
Cool.
But
This is a more exhaustive look at this.
yeah. All right. So yeah, this next one's kind of. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go for it. There we
I
go.
was gonna say, like, I have kind of like a macro question in terms of
Sure.
where to start and like how to sort of progress with your agency. But some people would start with a more traditional model, right? And then some people would start with like an SAS and then try to scale that. But to me, and most people in here, I don't know if we know much about how to even go about creating a software as a service and how to sell it.
So first of all, you're not creating software. So So the biggest thing to remember, right, is software. So you guys are professionals, and so you're going to have to understand the tools of the trade, but you're not selling tools. So this is the big thing that people somehow, like, this is the thing I think causes people the biggest headache, causes them to fail the most often. Like, it's the worst mistake you could make is thinking that you're somehow selling software, because that's not what you're selling, right?
Okay.
The people that you sell. So let's walk this down. So like, let me give you a tangible example. I'm gonna share my screen. Don't worry. Okay. So I had a guy come out to my house who was an HVAC guy, and Mr. HVAC guy walked into my house and he crushed it. He did a great job. So I looked up, and I got him as a personal family recommendation. I looked him up online, and he had 12 reviews. And I said, "What the heck is wrong with you? You have 12 reviews." And he said, "Well, I don't know how to get more reviews and this and that." And I said, "Well, okay, what if I had a piece of software that can automatically get you more reviews?" Now I said software, and I shouldn't have, but what I didn't do, what I also did, and this is the more important part, is I talked to him about the thing that he wanted, the outcome, right? He wanted more reviews because he understood reviews were important, right? And so he said, "Yeah, that'd be awesome. How much would you charge for that?" And I said, $300 a month. He said, "Sold." And I haven't talked to him in 6 years. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, here's why that's important, because here he is, 6 years later, still paying me every month, 593 reviews. And the only people in town who have more reviews than him are national companies that already had reputation management. So I'm selling an outcome to him, not a tool. The tool powers the outcome. And this is where all the money gets made. This is where the efficiency in the model is important. This is where, but when you guys we're talking on a call like this, and I'm showing you specific tactics in terms of software implementation. So for example, I might say, well, I really think it's important that you guys implement missed call text back. And the way that works is you literally go in, you connect their GMB account, it swaps the phone numbers, it does this and that. That's all the tactical implementation that you as an agency need to learn in order to put it into place. Now, it's not radically that sophisticated or complicated, but what you don't do is you don't walk into a business and say, "Hey, do you want missed call text back?" Because they don't know what the heck that is, right? They're going to say, you're going to walk into the business and say, "Hey, would you like more customers?" And everyone, and you're going to have your own version of saying that, but that's in effect what you're saying. And missed call text back is a great tactic for that, because how many of you have ever called a small business and trying to buy something and they didn't pick up the phone? Yeah. All the time, right? And so as a result, that's business they're missing every single day. Missed call text back will solve that, and that will allow you to create value, and that's how you're actually going to be able to charge for what you're doing. Right. So when you're thinking about your tactic of implementation, that's one thing. But when you're talking to a customer, you're always talking the same way. Do you want more customers? Do you want more 5-star reviews? Do you want a higher rank on Google? All of these things are what goes into getting the sale. Because if you think about it, if you're this Alpine HVAC guy and you want more customers and a higher rank on Google, right, and more 5-star reviews, this one thing, reputation management, actually does all of those. Because Google, if you search, HVAC in your town, USA, what you're going to find is Google pays a lot of attention to reviews. It has a lot to do with how they decide to rank those businesses. And as a result, what happens, right? They get more 5-star reviews, they get more customers because they're higher up on Google, and they get higher up on Google, right? All of those things are fulfilled by that one tactic. Now, that doesn't you also have to think, well, what about things like when you go to the website, hey, look at that. It's the high-level chat widget right there on their website, right? Yep. So that's a way for us to capture more people coming to their website. Or if this is the mobile view, look right here. Look, now we can message this business, right? So now we're turning on GMB chat, and now we're able to actually conversate with that business right there in line. So that's another way for us to connect them with their customers who are already searching. So all of these strategies are the tactics that come together to meet the sales pitch that you just gave. And the beautiful part about all of the things I just showed you, right, is they're software powered, they're incredibly scalable, and there's no ad spend here. There's no spend at all. Right. So this creates enormous amounts of value in very short order for your clients, and gets you in a space where you've just sold them a product that's easily worth $300 a month till the end of time, without them ever really wanting to bother or call you again, because all you're doing is turning on the floodgates of inbound customers walking through the door. And you're giving them a product in which they can handle all of these inbounds, because everything I just showed you flows into the same place. The conversations window. It's literally one screen in the app. So right there is how you make the sale, create the value, and scale the business.
Yeah, it's great. So the best thing there is like you're selling the result and not the software. The mistake that we make.
Well, the hole, not the drill. Exactly.
Right,
Do not ever talk software. And if you do, you will go to a land of pain and suffering, and you have no one but yourself to blame, because you will very quickly find that your customers have a big opinion about software, even though they're not qualified to do so. Yeah, and they're going to say, I already have a CRM, and I already have this, and I already have that. Do not go there. Do not make that. Do not make that pitch. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah. Okay, so Scott asked if we could go over how to use the email marketing.
Sure. Now, I would go over, and you guys have like some of the worst mics of all time. First thing is get tools that work, like a computer that has a mic, step one. But step two, so email marketing, there's two ways to look at email marketing. So as a SaaSpreneur, right, if you're doing this for your clients, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to provide them with the tools to do email marketing. And so what does that mean? That means going in and helping them pre-can and pre-create their templates, right? And their campaigns, and doing that. So like, look at this. So if we go like email marketing templates, what you really want to do as a SaaSpreneur is teach them to use this stuff to send out their email. Because if you don't, you're going to be you do not want to get into the business of being an email marketer if you can avoid it, right? Because you want them to use this to do their email marketing. And it's pretty darn simple. You want to tell them, listen, go into the template library, choose a template, and fire off an email. That's what you want to tell them, right? Now, it's a little harder than that. Obviously, you're going to go in here. Let's just say I'm in automotive. I would go in here and I would select this template. And then now I have to write some stuff. Now this is where, by the way, AI comes in handy, so don't sweat it. And then from there, so let's just say I'm an automotive dealer. Then the other thing you're gonna have to teach me, right, is, hey, come in here, either upload your contacts or have your contacts in there. These are not rocket sciencey things, though. Don't worry. It's literally just, there's a little thing here that says import. You drag a CSV file. All covered in the help docs, by the way, although you should create a video specifically for your clients if you can. But from an email marketing perspective, once your clients are in here, right, it's literally as easy as going back into the marketing tab under email, and you're going to basically, you have your template, let's say. Now you're going to create a campaign, and let's look at how these things work. So if we go in here and actually wrong button, that's the actual stats button. So if we go in here and hit, that's actually already got sent. Let's just do a new one for fun. So you come in here, and what you're going to do is first you're going to choose a template, right? So you're going to say, I'll take this template that you've already put in there. And then from here, obviously you can change it and do this and that, whatever you want to do. But when you're ready, you just hit send or schedule. And then from here, it's, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, I'm going to send it all now. I want to batch it out. I want to schedule it for later, however you want to do it. And then from here, it's, okay, cool. It's going to come from this name, from this sender. Here's the subject line, and here's who I'm sending to. And then you can choose to send to every contact in the list. You can choose to send to a tag. You could, you have your option here of who you want to send to. So that's pretty easy. The other way to do this actually is, let's just say you didn't want to do that. You could also go into contacts here. You could hit select all, and then up here, see where it says send email. Literally it's, okay, choose your template, right? And then once you choose your template, you can choose any of the nice looking templates as well. You can see right there, it shows you a preview. You can even edit it in line, which is pretty killer. And then from here, you can choose to send all at once. So there are two different ways to do this. It all depends on who your client is and their technical prowess, but this is kind of the direction I would lead them down. But teaching them how to do this is what's important, way more than necessarily, you don't want to be doing this for them. Now on the template side, one thing I could recommend is doing your own templates, or having your own templates made is probably the better way to think about it. So that, for example, you could go out and have somebody do, like, you could have somebody create like holiday templates or pre-canned templates in your niche if you're in a niche, or even just generic templates. So that way you're consistently creating more value. And one of the tricks of this, right, is every month you send me an email using the email marketing and say, hey, Sean, guess what? We just put a new template in your account through a snapshot. And that template is called the blah template. and here's how, and we want, and now go send it out using, the same help doc I wrote in the past. And what's kind of cool about that, right, is you can pre-create Heather Stewart. So check this out. So this is Heather Stewart. She's a non-existent real estate agent that doesn't exist. But if you look at this email template, what you're going to see is that it's actually pretty nice. And what it is it's for real estate agents. And all of these articles here are articles from the internet. They're not even written by the company. They're literally just linked to articles they found online. But what you could do is you could create this template for every one of your clients each month and push it in via Snapshot to all your clients. Now, does everybody here know what a Snapshot is, I hope?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but
Cool.
I'll explain to
Well,
them.
you can teach them about it. But the idea would be, right, hey, and what's really cool and awesome about these is if you look through them, okay, they're incredibly generic, right? So this is all about housing, but you realize like you can create incredibly generic things that don't have anything to do with a specific industry or a specific type of business that you can cross utilize. So because for me, I'm a big local guy, right? So if I was going to create a digital agency today, I would do it in my town. I would target every business. I would not niche out. The local digital agencies that I have talked to consistently have had lower churn, higher revenue, happier customers. It's just an easier route to start. And so what I would do is I would just have someone create a generic email for me every month that talks about either specific things in my town, which would be kind of cool, or even just specific things that are going to be in that period. Like it could be seasonal, it could be this or that. Think about anything you read in the news that's very generic. You can create emails around them that push them out. So that's kind of how I would attack that as a value add for those clients. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, that helps
Cool.
me. Hopefully it helps
Okay,
you.
good. Well, remember, if you can figure out what I'm saying and remember it, good.
Yeah.
Because then you can teach your group how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. The next thing, I mean, you just kind of went over this, that you wouldn't niche specifically. You would make sure that you just target everyone in your area. But for people that want to do SaaS, would you recommend starting with a more traditional agency and then transitioning to that later, or would you just plunge yourself into SaaS and then?
No, I mean, so here's the fundamental problem. So you got to think about. Let me unshare real quick. You got to think about where we started from. So when we started 5 years ago, the cool hip thing to do was to have a Facebook ads agency. Okay.
Yeah.
And so those were our first customers. And when we first got into that business, the reason we were successful is because we did one thing for them, which is, so they would go run a Facebook ad, they would generate a truckload of leads, they'd put them on a spreadsheet, and then they would think that they just did the most amazing job, only to find that they'd get fired. And the reason why was because a spreadsheet full of names isn't a customer. They're not paying them anything, right? And so in order to make them a customer, you have to do what's called nurturing. So lead comes in, you have to get to them quickly. And by the way, you still need to do this. Everything I'm telling you is still something no one does. And then the idea is from there, you're going to take that person and nurture them into a booked appointment. And we crushed that use case. And that's how we got into this business. But there's a big problem though. Pre us, I would say most people were lasting 2 to 4 months with their customers. Post us, they were lasting 6 to 8 months with their customers. But the problem is that I would get on the phone with digital agencies that were local and they never lost a customer. 6, 8 months, nothing. Try 6, 8 years, no problem. Right. And when you really think, and when I really looked at what was going on here's the simple truth of it. It's a psychological issue. A small business does not believe that they could pay anyone for anything, for any time, for $3,000 a month, period, full stop, for infinite amounts of history, no matter how good of a job they're doing, by the way. And this is the most important part of this, because the struggle for most people is they think, well, if I just do a good job, they're going to see it and realize it and this and that. No, they're not. They're going to say $3,000 a month is too much money for anything, because that's just how I am. It's what I believe, right? The reason why SaaS works so well is because the price point is so much lower, okay? And it's technology that every business is gonna fundamentally buy, whether they are a plumber or a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist or a flower shop. It doesn't matter. They're all gonna have this technology, period. And the reason this works so well at scale is because, so back to the Facebook ads agency, they would get to 5 clients and then they would get stuck because Facebook ads are hard. ads in general are hard. It's all very bespoke, custom stuff. And it killed these guys. And then they would go up to 5, they would stop selling, of course, because they were too busy fulfilling. They would drop down to 2, and then oh crap, they'd have to restart their sales pipeline. They were just on this wheel of death. Like they just never would get out. And so SaaS sets you free because it's not $3,000 a month. It's $300 a month, but you're talking about a 90% profit margin, not a 30% profit margin, and it's run by the software at the end of the day. You don't run around telling people this. I mean, not that it matters, but you're not selling the tool, but you're creating those same consistent outcomes at a price point that's low enough that you just never make the list of people to try to take out. And that is exactly how it goes down at every small business. They sit down at the end of the month with their bookkeeper. They say, listen, show me our most expensive things that we're paying for, and let's figure out how to get rid of those things. And when you're the $3,000 plus ad spend a month agency, you are way high on that list. And unfortunately, you have a big target on your back. And that's why those guys and gals just get smoked all the time. But when you're $300 a month, you're way down the list and you look like a utility bill. And it's a lot easier for them to say, oh, wait, didn't we get that one job or that one sale from that software? Oh, we did. Or from that agency? Oh, we did? Okay, great. Moving on. Like, it's a lower bar to success, and that's why it works so well. And the reason I like local is because, again, back to traditional digital agencies, they always had lower churn because it's just about trust. You know, if you're a local business owner, who can you trust? Your customers are local, so the people you know and you serve are local. Many of your vendors are local. So the last thing you want to do is deal with some guy on Facebook 1,000 miles away when you can instead deal with someone local, right? Mm-hmm. So this is where this model comes from and why it works so well.
Yeah, I guess I would just say, like, it must be kind of difficult to handle like hundreds of clients, right, on a software. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to do much after just...
No. See, this is the big trick. Like, you think it's hard to handle hundreds of clients on software. Imagine doing that as an agency. Custom websites, custom this, custom that. What a joke. You're killing me. No, in fact, that's the great thing. So it's the way we talk about being a SaaSpreneur, especially to start with, you have a very confined offering. It's the same box. Everyone is buying the same box. Now think about all of the things you guys buy. You know those iPhones in your pocket? Same box. All of you people have the same box in your hand. That's why Apple makes as much money as it does, because they've created a very boxed product, and that's what you're doing here. You're creating a software offering that starts here and ends here for everyone. And if they say, can you do X custom thing? The answer is hell no, I can't, because that leads down the road to I'm never going to be able to scale. I'm never going to be able to make a lot of money. When you have hundreds of clients, yes, of course you're still going to need someone to help you. But when you're charging $300 a month, let me tell you, there's plenty of margin there to have someone help you if you need it. But because it's a boxed product, remember, before they ever even get to you, you can standardize the help documentation. You can do one-to-many type of thing. So like you could run a group like this, get on with your clients once a week and do a webinar with them talking about whatever, and you can have it be really useful to all of them and scale really well. So trust me, if you think support for software is hard, try supporting hundreds of clients on an agency.
Yeah, maybe I should have asked, like, I guess on the marketing side of things, like getting clients, how would you recommend going about that? Because that would be where most
most people, so the problem here, right, is it's like saying, like, how would you recommend, playing basketball or something? If you're an NBA player, it's a radically different conversation than if you're just getting started, right? Mm-hmm. So most people, when they ask that question, they're really asking, how do I get started? Not how do I I have 10 clients or 20 clients, how do I scale up? So the first thing you need to do is think who owns a business, number one. Mm-hmm. And then go sell them SaaS, because if they're a local business, there's no way in the world they don't need this stuff, right? Step one, go do that. Step two, ask them for referrals. And the nice thing is you already have a case study right there. And then from there, it depends on who you are as a person, right? So like, I'm not a big cold call sales dude. That's not my deal. I can talk to people if they're interested in me, but I'm not really huge on necessarily like cold call and knocking on doors, that kind of thing. So for me, I would do a couple of things. One, I'd run ads. I'd run Google ads, I'd run Facebook ads, but I geo-target them to my local area, because I know the second they call, I know what I would do. I'd be like, hey, I'll come out and show you. And they'd be like, what? That'd blow their socks off. No one ever comes out and shows them anything, right?
Right.
And then I would use those really simple, easy methodologies to get to my first 10 or 20 clients. And then when you're ready to go bigger than that, call your local chamber of commerce, call your local BNI groups, right? And say, hey, I want to join. I'm going to become a member. It's always cheap. And say, look, I want to do a free seminar on how to market your business online. no pitch, no sale, no nothing. You get up on stage, you show people these things. Hey, did you know Google My Business has chat? Boom. Did you know there's website things? Yeah. Did you know you could book online? Did you know this? Did you know that? And just show them all the great things that they could be doing for free, right? And at the end of that seminar, I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're all going to be like, oh my God, I need this. I better run up and get to that guy quick because I'm going to ask him to do it for me. And then bam, you can make the sale right there, right? So you can do simple things and you can scale. And you can keep going, right? You can even do you can use the affiliate management software and you can actually run a local affiliate program and have local business owners and pay them to recommend your software to other businesses that they know, right? There's lots of collegiate types of activities there. You can start running digital things, but again, make them geo-targeted. So how do you create a local digital marketing group, a Facebook group around your area, or we have communities coming out in a minute. You guys use communities do this, like on and on and on and on, right? So it's not radical rocket science here. That's the problem with it. It's not super sexy or super cool, but it is super profitable, super consistent, and makes a lot of money. That's the only thing. And if you think local's a joke, look at different companies like, if you go look at Patient Pop, which just got bought by Correo, they made their first $1 million by walking around. Go look at Podium, $100 million SaaS company, first $1 million by walking around. Thrive, $1 billion publicly traded company, still local Salesforce dependent. Yelp, love them or hate them, publicly traded company, $1 billion company, big local Salesforce. Local wins every time because, man, being able to say like, hey, wasn't that crazy weather we had last week? Man, that goes a long way when trying to make a sale. The fact that you're sitting in front of me, you can talk my language, you understand where I come from, versus some random person on the internet or some cold call or cold email that I'm getting.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Liam just asked, can you explain how you could use GoHighLevel to get these Google reviews and other stuff you mentioned about SaaS? So
we have the SaaSpreneur course, and we mentioned this in all the help docs. We got lots of videos on it, but super easy. So Google reviews. Every time that guy that I showed cuts an invoice, I automatically send out a text. Now, of course, if it were me, what I would do is I would do it based on every appointment they book, right? But all you got to do is key it off something. So go find a business, figure out a transaction point, like a booking. So first of all, see if you can do their online booking. If not, figure out who they use for it and use Zapier, or if you could, or use our API or whatever. And then just every time I send the same text message for the last 6 years. Hi, this is Drew from Alpine HVAC. We'd love to know how we did. Would you be willing to leave us a review? Here's a link that makes it easy. Period. Stop. Full stop. Because what people don't understand about reviews is people who hate you don't need your help to go burn you on Google. They know where you live. People who didn't have a bad experience but didn't have a good experience, they'll get that text and ignore it. And then the people who don't leave reviews by their very nature are actually the people who had a great experience. Just because you have a great experience, think about it. When was the last time you had a great experience someplace? Did you automatically leave a review? There might be a couple of people that do that, but not many. Yeah. So, but those people, if you prompt them, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. That guy crushed it for me. Really helped me out. Did this, whatever. Boom, 5-star review. So yes, just go hook up a simple text message to a transaction point in that business. Or better yet, sell them appointment booking, and then you hook it up so that every time there's an appointment that happens, when the appointment is done, which you can do in a workflow,
right,
text that person out and say, hey, thanks for letting us come out and meet with you today, or thanks for meeting with us today. How did we do? And the great thing about appointments, by the way, is when you ask people for reviews about appointments, here's the funny part about it. You're asking them in context of something that may or may not have moved forward. So maybe you came out to my house, you were a great estimator, you helped me understand the service, whatever, but I didn't choose you. Google doesn't know the difference, you realize, between a good review about an appointment versus a good review about the service. It just sees a 5-star review. So if you put the transaction point higher up in the flow, you'll actually get more reviews and they'll be more positive.
Yeah, and you could incentivize them to come back in with the database reactivation, stuff like that. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then so database reactivations, have you taught these folks about this?
Yeah, it's just, I've talked about it.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. And then the other SaaS stuff, GMB, you just literally connect their GMB profile and you're good to go. So then what'll happen there is it'll automatically enable GMB chat, and the chat will be turned on. Then the chat widgets, if you go in the settings, the chat widget settings are there, and it works on any website. So it's really easy. You just go throw it on a website and boom, in 2 seconds, it's amazing how many people automatically get get people come to their website every day. And I think we've all experienced this. You go to a website and you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like that chat widget really zeroes people in, and makes it super, super simple. So let's see. How do you create an automation that can do a thing for Facebook ads? Like, as in make it good for the client. Well, don't run Facebook ads, actually, is probably my advice to you. Start with the easier things. I mean, you can do Facebook ads. That's where we got started. But but Facebook, the problem is everyone's been pitched ads, and business owners don't like ads. They know they're expensive. They know they're hard. They think of them as hard to perform. Start with the easier things. Sell them the chat widget. Sell them the GMB chat. Sell them the reputation management. These are the much easier sales. And as you go forward, you're going to see way more reviews. And in fact, here's a trick. I can tell you if you use the affiliate management software to create a recommendation engine for your clients, you'd never have to buy an ad for almost any business in the United States, period. Because everyone has customers that they've served. And if you can say to those customers, hey, listen, here's a special. You take this link, you give it to your friend. If they buy this $100 thing, I'll give you $50. Right there, you could get many, 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 many businesses to literally mobilize their existing customer bases to go out and actually get their friends to come in the door. And you never have to run an ad again. And it would multiply because the friends you got in the door this month would become your promoters next month. You would literally build up an army of promoters over time. That actually will be the big trick in the future for really magnifying a local business's success.
Yeah, and that first month is always the most important, right? So like when you deliver for that first month and you just like reactivate a database or something like that, then they're going to stay with you for longer, and they're going to cut some slack for you in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love these questions. So Ishan, why should I use GHL over other softwares providing the same features for cheaper? First of all, good luck finding one. So I think that's actually my better answer. You won't find a piece of software that does as much as we do for cheaper. That doesn't exist. And you certainly won't find one that does white labeling and allows you to have unlimited sum accounts. I mean, it's just a non-existent concept. You can certainly find cheaper software that does 1 or 2 things or 5 things out of the 100 that we do. But the reality is that if you really want to do a great job here, if you really want to be a great SaaSpreneur, if you really want to make a lot of money and scale a business, eventually what you're going to need to do is you're going to take these basic SaaS concepts that I'm teaching you about, and you're going to continue to expand them. So eventually you're going to do the website, and you're going to help that company do estimating and proposals and invoices, right? And run a community. I mean, it all depends on the type of business, this and that. But eventually you're going to expand out. Like we'll have mobile payments coming out this quarter. So eventually you're going to want to run these businesses end to end using different packages. You know, you have the $300 package, the $600 package, the $1,000 package, and each package will have more features, and you'll want to do more for that business if you truly want to scale and you truly want to make a lot more money and have a really good sustainable business. And you're going to need to pick a platform that actually does that. And generally cheaper isn't going to get you there. So that would be my answer to that.
Can you talk real quick about the communities thing that you touched on? The next thing,
sure.
New feature, yeah, that'd be
great. Yeah. Let me. I can actually show you that. So if anybody here has used like a Circle SO or Mighty Networks would be another example of that. This will be a drop-in replacement essentially for that. So think about like an easy thing would be like think about this group that we're in right now, right? So today, most of you, if you're running a group, you're doing it in some place that's public, like Facebook. But the problem with Facebook, right, is there's a lot of distractions. So if I'm Facebook, I'm advertising to your community members. There's a lot of other things that I'm probably part of that are trying to jump in my way. I'm getting a lot of pings from my friends on Messenger, maybe. So communities, think about that as like a private Facebook group. So literally being able to go in, join the group. You can either charge for the group membership, or you can give it away for free depending on who your customer is. And it's literally like I'm on Facebook. So you're adding channels, you're adding posts. Yeah, here's the post flow. And you're really interacting with those posts. And again, it's just literally a private Facebook group is really what it is. But it's not Facebook. It's your own thing. It's fully moderatable. You can sell courses inside of it. You can upsell, you can downsell. So think about it like that. And a good example of that would be like if you work with influencers or you work with coaches or consultants, a lot of people are moving to this. Even e-commerce brands are doing it because it's a place for you to bring your customers in and have them talk about your products, but also in a very controlled manner. So you can decide kind of what they see, what they don't see. If you don't like a comment or a post, you can get rid of it. And you're really just sort of compartmentalizing all of this stuff into one thing that you control. And so this will be going out this quarter.
Yeah, that's great. Also, yeah, how can we use software as a service on like the coaching side of things, if that makes any sense? So not as much.
So I mean, do coaches need email marketing? Yes.
Yeah.
Do they need a CRM? Yes. Do they need courses? Yes. Get in the picture? Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Everything. Do they need two-way SMS? Do they need funnels? Do they need websites? They need all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do they need social media posting? And and that's the other thing, right? Like we haven't even talked about all of those tools, but those tools are so obvious. What business doesn't need social media posting and a website and a funnel and two-way SMS and a CRM and email marketing and this and this and this and this? I mean, it just goes on forever, right? How many coaches have their own, are able to respond on the go with mobile apps? How many of them need marketing automation? I mean, all of these tools should be super relevant to every single type of business on the planet. So it doesn't matter who you serve, they need these tools, and they can either buy them from someone else, in which case you get no money, or they can buy them from you, right? That's really the way I would think about it.
Yeah, that's good. Do you see that question in the chat that John Johnson asked?
Oh, no, hold on. Sorry, I got to switch back. Was thinking of selling exotic meats online and have a website on GHL to possibly sell a subscription service. Can I do this? Yeah, sure. I mean, subscription, you can do subscription services in 10 different ways. So you could do something super simple, like you could come into payments here and you could create subscriptions, right? And you can create products. So you can actually sell, there's all your meats. And then you can sell them through a funnel and automatically add me into a subscription. You can do one-time things. We'll also expand out into full e-com in Q3. So we'll have full shopping cart ability and that kind of thing. But your sort of exotic meats concept is probably fairly low SKU, so you could probably pull that off right now. Yeah, we have full invoicing and subscription management and the whole 9 yards. The other thing is you can also do this in membership, so you can actually sell me into an actual membership. And again, the membership may or may, and this is actually the fun part. Like this is a good example of where you might have a community around exotic meats, which is maybe how you get me to start into like this whole idea, or it could just be one of those things where you're keeping me going when it comes to being in your community and continuing to buy or learn about them or how to cook with them, this kind of thing. So like this is Mighty Networks, and where's this guy? I saw Zach Bush, MD. So like back to your question about do I help work with coaches and influencers, right? Mm-hmm. So who is this dude? He's like some doctor guy or whatever who wants to sell you on holistic living, right? Mm-hmm. So you can build this website for him in GoHighLevel. He's got a community app, which is Mighty Networks, but you could have which he sells access to. So you can do this through GoHighLevel's communities next week. He's got appearances that he sells, which you can create funnels for, and you can have people buy. He has knowledge, aka courses, which you could build in GoHighLevel today. So you can see very quickly how this all works, right? You could build his whole business that he has right here. You could build this all in GoHighLevel for him today. And I mean, how much do you think this was worth to a guy like this, right? Thousands of dollars a month easily. Yeah. And all of the contacts would go into the CRM and all the emails that go out would come out through the email marketing and on and on and on. You can send out bulk SMSs to his members and, all of that stuff. So it's incredibly, incredibly feature rich and incredibly scalable.
Yeah. Any other big things that we should know about coming soon, like other than the communities and like things that?
Well, I mean, estimates and proposals are out this quarter, so you'll be able to. So if I'm a plumber, I'm sending out an estimate to replace your toilet. But if I'm an agency, I can set out a full proposal with pictures and stuff, and there's signature capabilities, so you can actually you can capture my signature. You can also capture payments inside of them, so you can do that kind of thing. So that'll be super useful for those types of businesses. And then we also have mobile payments is coming out, so you can actually, we've all been to the farmer's market. We've seen the Square Reader, but the Square Reader is no longer required. You can actually just tap it right on the phone now. So we'll have that in the mobile app this quarter as well. obviously it all depends on who you are, right? So when you have 600 employees like we do today, there's always a lot coming out. So for some people, they'll love the fact that like we'll have the ability to do recurring social posting. So like recycling of posts is coming out on the social planner. For some people, we have the brand new funnel builder is out, obviously, and the e-com stuff in Q3 is going to be big. I'm trying to think on the CRM side, we'll have custom fields and opportunities. So if you're actually in more of the HubSpot or Salesforce direction, that'll be big. We'll also have the final piece of two-way email sync. So basically, if you write an email in Gmail or Outlook and you send it out, it'll automatically sync into HighLevel under that contact. We already have it now so that if you send it from HighLevel and then you continue the conversation in Gmail, it'll keep syncing, but now it'll do it even if you start that conversation in Gmail. So again, you name a type of business, and I guarantee you we probably have a ton of solutions and a ton of features that those people need. There's really, we're close. We don't have e-com yet, so but I would say at least on the marketing side, there are probably 0 features that we don't have that any type of business uses.
Yeah. Those are all my main questions. If anyone else has anything else, then you could obviously write that in the chat, but that was really helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yep, thank you.
Bye for now.
Yep, bye. See you. Thanks. I'll stay on for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you guys have anything. You could also just unmute your mics too if you want. But
Hey, I want to ask you a question about it. So you do use the same software as the GoHighLevel, yes? Is that right?
Yep, I do. Yeah, it's GoHighLevel, yeah.
So how's your experience about it?
Yeah, it's really good. Like you said, it's kind of like holistic software, so they have everything that you need. Most other places, they'll charge you the same amount or even more, and they won't have like a website builder the same way HighLevel does. So they just have everything. Yeah, and also like there's so many. They're also like I affiliate market for them, so I sell an affiliate link and I give away like my snapshot with it, and it's super easy to do that because it's just such a valuable software. So they're really nice to affiliates. I would even recommend some people join just to affiliate market for them. Or at least do that on top of everything else. And yeah, there's so many different things that you could do within the software. I know it's really overwhelming in the beginning, which is why I have some like videos on my channel about it, but this guy's a master, as you can see. So he knows everything about it, which was cool that we got to talk to him. I'll also be recording this and uploading it so you could like watch each part of it again and see. But yeah, I would recommend you get it. Obviously $97 a month is pretty expensive. And that's just the lowest version, but it's definitely worth it because the point is, and the way they do it is that if you get the free trial and if you like extend it, because they allow you to extend it to up to 30, 45 days, then you could just use those first like month and a half to just get your first client. Then you'll be making way more than you're paying, and then the idea is that you're just leveraging a tool. Basically, you're spending around $100 a month, maybe up to $300 if you level up, if you get the better version. And yeah, you're basically just making so much more money than you're spending, and it's just a good return on investment when you're buying this software. So that's the way I've used it, and most people have as well. So that's what I'd recommend. Yeah, I would definitely. I also don't know many softwares that offer like a free trial and allow you to extend it to up to 45 days, which is crazy. You have 45 days free within this software, and you get to pretty much you have every feature. There's nothing that they're not allowing you to do. There's nothing that they're concealing. You have every feature, and you could use anything. So yeah, anything else? Any other questions?
How would you extend your trial up to 45 days?
If you go to the settings and then in the billing section, there's a little thing under it that says like, do you want to extend your trial? You can just click on the question, like it asks you if you want to. Yeah. Do you have it right now, or are you just asking for when you get it?
No, I have like a link for like 30-day free trial, but I was thinking like if I don't get a client, or if I don't get any earnings to pay forward, maybe like a few more days would be helpful.
Yeah, for sure. You haven't extended it at all, right? So you could probably extend
No,
it up to
I have
30 days.
not extended it yet. I haven't even tried to extend it, so yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. That means you could probably extend it 15, 30 days. And yeah, so settings, billing, and then you should see in there that there's an option to extend it.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so he said pretty much some crazy things he said was don't run Facebook ads,
Yeah.
which I was sending cold emails for my niche. I'm not gonna say my niche, but to run their Facebook ads and get them clients. What he said was kind of crazy because
Yeah.
pretty much he said instead, don't do that because you can lower your price point from like 3K to 300, and instead sell them things like 5-star reviews, which was one of my bonuses as well. But
Right.
was it just the 5-star reviews? And he said the chat widget when you go into the website.
He's saying like you could just come in there and help them set up everything. So set up a chat widget, set up like a email marketing strategy, database reactivation, which what that is just taking their old client database and re-incentivizing them, telling them to come back in, and then getting messaging people to do reviews as well, like Google reviews, stuff like that, like all the fundamentals basically. There's a lot of different things you could do. The list goes on, but he says that that's better, more useful than Facebook ads, which I also agree with in the beginning. I think paid ads is kind of like it's always gonna work. It's like it just works. But he's right in that like the ideal, because software as a service, because he's a big advocate of software as a service. The idea is that you're just making a product basically, so you don't need to like uphold the service delivery or anything. You're just making a product one time, and you're just selling it over and over again. So that's what he was basically saying. Does that make sense? Like just a product that you sell for a few $100, maybe way less than what you charge as your normal fixed fee, and then just getting as many clients as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but in terms of like he was saying Google reviews, that's usually an easy thing to do, is just to like again ask them for their past client database right when you get in touch with them, and then automatically just send out like a blast SMS within GoHighLevel, and it takes you like 5 seconds, and then you could get 30 people to come back maybe, or whatever, how big their database is, and that'll just massively impress them. And then from there, if you do good for the first month, then they're gonna like you for the later months, so they're probably gonna stay with you. Yeah, so it's a good idea. I would say like that's something that you offer that as like an extra thing, right, as a bonus.
Yeah, I had the reactivation campaigns and the 5-star Google reviews as 2 bonuses, but my main package was the ads.
Yeah, maybe you could just like make it, instead of a bonus, just do it like included, and then just have that be the first thing that you do once you start working with them, and then that'll probably just impress them, and then you'll stay with them, because that'll just buy you time also to get better on the ads and stuff, because ads do take time to, one, learn, and two, to see perform, because like I've run ads for certain people, and it takes like a month to actually get things to speed up sometimes, and they're not going to be like ecstatic about it. They might not be impressed. They might be like, okay, you're doing all right, but the best way to make them impressed is by doing the database reactivation, the Google reviews, all that stuff, because then they feel like you're actually helping them on all fronts.
That makes a lot more sense, yes. And for my offer, does that mean then I don't really have to make, because I had like a 15 clients or patients your first month guarantee.
Yeah.
And that's what I was a bit nervous about. What if I don't hit that? Then I have to actually pay them back what they paid me. So if I get rid of that, then I can make my offer better by adding all those other things, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's what he's saying. Like those are the fundamentals. If you have that included, you could just. I mean, that he's talking about software as a service, so you need to get into GoHighLevel and set things up before that. But yeah, I would just focus on that, and then maybe you could change your guarantee. I mean, I'm not sure. What was the question again? Like, you wanted to.
So adding the chat widget to their website and maybe even building them a website or updating it, stuff like that. Just making my offer better, but without the guarantee of the clients and whatnot.
Yeah, the guarantee is just usually attractive because to them it's like, okay, that's the only reason that they really work with you sometimes. But that's the thing. It's kind of like you don't want them to just work with you because of a guarantee, because then that means that they're just kind of, they think that
Waiting
they could take
for
it. Yeah, they think they could take advantage of you because they're like, oh, you have a guarantee. That's good for me, and now I'm protected. You want them to like, and that's why I talked about like local advertising or advertising locally and getting local businesses to work with you is usually the best, because those are people that kind of trust you more. You want to have a client that actually likes you and you could talk to, and that it's kind of like people like that I'm working with. I'm friends with them now. You know what I mean? Which is kind of weird, but
that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
That's the only way to actually build a long-term relationship that I can stay with them with, unless I do software, which right now I'm still on Facebook ads and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. You're also are you providing Facebook ads for your clients, or are you more of the SaaS complete model?
I'm evolving into SaaS, but I'm still doing Facebook ads right now. But I want to do SaaS, and even the thing that you talked about with the communities tab, that's cool. That's interesting to me because I've wanted to do that, but I'm trying to set it up somewhere else. But now I can set it up within GoHighLevel. So again, he's just including everything into that. So yeah. Do you have HighLevel yet or no?
Oh, I did, but then I didn't get any clients, so then I had to get rid of it until I got some clients. But I like went. I used Joel Kaplan, and I learned a lot from him. And I went through HighLevel, and I like tested everything out, so I know about it and I know like the functions, but I've yet to actually start using it.
Okay, yeah. But you plan on getting back in there, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And also something very interesting that he said was how to get clients. Like he said, going out and seeing like actual people, going to your local chamber of commerce and doing like a seminar,
Yeah.
and like talking about how you can help them. That was also very interesting.
Yeah, he's a master. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone else or any other questions? If not, I could just hop out of here and you could always DM me on Discord because I'm answering everybody. But yeah. All right, I mean, I guess I'll just hop out of here. Thanks for coming, guys. This will also be on YouTube if you want to look back at it. So it was nice.
Bye. Thank you.
If you made it to the end, you guys are legends. Now listen, I have my HighLevel affiliate link if you want to get the software that we're talking about in this video. It's in the link in the description. I give away a full agency snapshot with my entire setup, so you'll get every tool and resource that I have built within HighLevel given to you via snapshot. It'll have my appointment setting funnels, my calendar booking page, all these different things that you are going to set up on your own once you get in there. I give it away. I save you so much time, and yeah, it's for free. It's appended to the affiliate link if you use mine. So just use that link in the description and it'll walk you through how to do that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out everyone and goodbye.